On this episode of China Uncensored, China and North Korea may no longer be BFFs, but Kim Jong-Un has a new best friend, so there. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. For decades, North Korea and China were besties, together like peas and carrots, like rice and gochujang. But recently, China has been spending a bit too much time with the U.S., and they keep talking about North Korea behind its back, about how it's been getting all nuclear lately. And now China's telling North Korea that maybe they can't even be friends anymore. Poor Kim Jong-un must be so sad. But fortunately, he might have made a new friend. A big, strong, manly friend. No, not me. Vladimir Putin. They have so much in common. Think about it. Putin's an outdoorsman, a friend to the animals, and beloved by children. That's a perfect match for Kim. He's an outdoorsman, friend to the animals-ish, and the children, hey, how come they're not smiling? Maybe because they were told they're all going to summer re-education camp. Don't worry, kids, it'll be great. Talent shows, archery, making arts and crafts for export in exchange for food. And don't forget the classic summer re-education camp tradition, staying up after curfew to try to sneak across the river into China. Makes me miss my summer camp days. But anyway, back to Russia. As ties between China and North Korea deteriorate, Russia has been stepping in to fill the void, and it's not so unusual. After the Second World War, Russia, the Soviet Union, was North Korea's sugar daddy. With its support, North Korea became strong, with an economy that was even stronger than U.S.-backed South Korea. But that relationship fell apart after the Soviet Union had a big breakdown in the early 90s. And without Soviet subsidies, the North Korean economy collapsed and they kind of stopped being able to feed everyone. That's when China came in and their relationship became close. Like, really close. Ugh. But now that China's new leader is making new friends, Russia's back for the friendship rebound. Actually, Russia's been trying for a few years now. In 2014, Russia forgave North Korea about $10 billion of debt, proving that authoritarian regimes can be more forgiving than your average student loan provider. I probably should have gone Russia to finance my master's degree. Moving on, then North Korea and Russia declared 2015 to be the year of friendship. And in 2017, for the third year in a row, Russia beat out China as North Korea's bestie. When Kim sent out New Year's greeting cards, at the top of the list was Russia, followed by China. Dear Putin, Happy New Year. I like your horse. Love, Kim. Of course, it's not just a show of friendship. Russia is again providing real economic benefits that help prop up the North Korean regime in the face of declining support from China. According to the U.S. political intelligence firm Stratfor, when China recently threatened to cut off fuel exports to North Korea if it conducted its 6th nuclear weapons test, Russia hinted it could replace at least some of that supply. And according to Reuters, Russia has already taken over the supply of jet fuel to North Korea after China halted exports 2 years ago. Now, state-run North Korean airline Air Koryo will have fuel again. New tagline, "We're not the world's worst airline anymore." And the Kremlin isn't just helping North Korea with air travel. Later this month, a new ferry service between these two cities is scheduled to launch, carrying potentially 200 passengers and 1,000 tons of cargo 6 times a month. Now you might be wondering, what kind of passengers go between North Korea and Russia? Well, slaves might be a more accurate term. There's an estimated 30,000 North Korean workers in Russia, and almost all of their earnings go to the North Korean regime. It's one of the few sources of income for North Korea. That and selling drugs out of its embassies, which is a real thing. So why is Russia moving closer to North Korea? What can there possibly be in it for them? Well, Russia wants to take over China's role holding North Korea's leash. For over a decade, China presented itself as the only country that had any possible sway over North Korea. If the global community had any illusions about forcing a change there, they'd have to go through China. That gave the Chinese regime a lot of international leverage. Russia would love to be able to expand its influence in the Asia-Pacific region, and if by getting close to North Korea, Russia could do that, well, Wouldn't that just be grand? There's one hitch. It didn't work for China because ultimately North Korea did whatever it wanted. Russia may also find that despite all of its goodwill, North Korea will continue to do whatever it wants. Ouch! And what does China think about all this? Well, you know how it is sometimes in international relations. You're best friends with the neighboring country, mostly because the two of you grew up together, fought wars together. But now that your best friend is getting totally obsessed with launching nuclear weapons, you're not sure you have all that much in common anymore. So you're making new friends, and there's only so much room in your life for crazy. But now Russia is moving in and trying to be even better friends than you were with North Korea. And that hurts a little. Not that you and Russia were super close, but you always stood together against the United States, like on the UN Security Council. And now everything is getting complicated, and North Korea, well, you're never going to be that close again. But maybe there's still a way to save some part of the friendship, at least for international leverage purposes. So you know what? Next time you have a party, Russia and North Korea are invited. So what do you think of Russia trying to replace China as North Korea's BFF? Leave your comments below. Thanks for watching this episode of China Uncensored. Once again, I'm your host, Chris Chappell. See you next time.